that whole process of the pregnancy, finding out about it was so exciting, and it was so fun to tell our family and friends. We put together this ridiculous video that announced it, and you never really think about anything going wrong.
Adam and I met in 2002 at the University of Missouri, Columbia. We worked at the student newspaper together.
Amy actually got into grad school at UW out here in Seattle, so we decided to move across the country. The day we moved to a new apartment, I proposed that day.
So we were married for 2 or so years and knew we wanted kids, but when we were getting married, we'll see when it's the right time, when we feel like we're ready. Then I think we just decided it was time, and I took a pregnancy test at home, and we were very excited to have this positive result, and it was very exciting.
The 20-week sonogram is usually when you find out the gender of the baby. Pretty quickly, there was kind of just some strange energy in the room as the technician was kind of going through. And so then I think she revealed that there was possibly defects with the heart.
I think most people, when you go into the 20-week ultrasound, you don't think about the fact that it's a full fetal anatomy scan. But everyone just thinks of that as when you find out the gender and it's, this exciting, fun part, which it can be, but in our case, it turned out to be this very serious, difficult day.
There was kind of all this unknown after the diagnosis, wondering, what a congenital heart defect meant. I had no idea. I made a really concerted effort to not let this diagnosis kind of rob us from some of the joys of pregnancy that a lot of people normally go through.
We were just waiting for this moment for so long, and now she was finally here.
Things seemed okay, and okay seemed pretty fantastic to us at that point.
Throughout the pregnancy, they could know such an amazing amount about her. They knew she had this heart defect, and they could explain the range of symptoms she might show and what those outcomes might look like. But then there was also just so much they couldn't possibly know until she was actually out in the world breathing on her own.
Annabelle has a very common congenital cardiac defect. Now, they're not common in general, they're common in our world. That's called tetralogy of Fallot. And that is a combination of problems that boils down to essentially a hole between the left and right heart in the lower chamber and a narrowing of the blood as it goes to the pulmonary arteries into the lungs.
The symptoms were very gradual. I mean, the lack of weight gain was the main thing, but then we also started to notice she was breathing faster. I think for the first 2 months, we were just so excited. We got to go home right away. We just let ourselves be happy and excited and knew surgery needs to happen, but we can wait a while to think about it.
During open heart surgery, we always use the bypass machine. The machine functions as a series of tubes that bring the blood from your heart or your body into the machine and then back again, and the machine does the work of the heart and lungs. The tube has to be filled with saline or some other prime, as we say, so that there's not air in the circuitry. Most babies will require a blood transfusion because you need to put enough blood in that prime so that when you connect to the machine, your blood count doesn't get too low. The blood transfusion and all the blood products that go along with that are essential.
When patients like Annabelle need to have blood transfusion, we have to take a number of things into account. Really, we have to make sure that the blood transfusion that she's going to receive is safe for her small body to tolerate. To do that, we select special products, and we also select very fresh products to make sure that she doesn't experience any side effects when she receives her transfusion. The role that I play at BloodWorks Northwest is that I'm a transfusion service medical director. But my work is really here at Seattle Children's Hospital, where I run the transfusion service. It's a resource for the whole hospital to be open at all times to be able to provide blood, both in routine transfusions or in times of emergency when a patient really needs blood right this instant.
Waiting during Annabelle's surgery was awful and nerve-wracking, but in many ways I was relieved that it was finally happening. It was in Dr. Chen's very capable hands.
No surprises in the surgery. Everything looked good, that the repairs looked good to them. It was amazing. She has a hole in her heart, and they had put a little patch in there, and he explained that the heart was actually going to grow around that. And everything had kind of been leading up to this since that 20-week sonogram, finding out about this and all we had been through. And so when he came out and said that everything went well and exactly as expected, it was just a huge relief. We were able to touch her, and she felt so warm. And I kept asking, is she running a fever? We had never felt her with her heart working efficiently before. She had gotten this transfusion, so she was very oxygen rich, full of blood, and I was like, wow, so this is what she actually should be feeling like.
The services here at Seattle Children's Hospital depend on blood products to take care of their patients. Patients come from all over the Pacific Northwest to be cared for in our ICU. And in that ICU, many patients require blood transfusion for all sorts of critical illness.
We cannot perform these operations without either blood available or usually utilizing the blood that we're given from the blood center. It would be impossible, and it would be unsafe.
You don't ever expect that you're going to have a child who needs surgery or is going to need a blood transfusion, or for yourself or someone in your family. But when you do need it, you don't even have to think about it, because Bloodworks Northwest is out there making sure that people are donating, because it is a critical need that a lot of times we take for granted.
In some ways, I feel like the universe said, you have this amazing baby, but she's going to need heart surgery, which is very difficult. So we're going to make her super easygoing, and she's a pretty good sleeper. And so she's pretty mellow for the most part, and just very curious. She loves exploring. She's just really fun. Yeah, we're just so thankful that she's doing well now and doing okay. It was a rough start, but since surgery, life's been really fun.